Hey guys, I've been looking around and I noticed that there isn't any videos going over the Carnelian mechanics and her timings for the new Guild Boss 2. And as you can see, Carnelian is in every single top team. She's definitely 100% meta. You can use Sadie instead, but Sadie's a lot harder to use. Carnelian is just better overall. And I wanted to kind of show you guys how to use her properly. Because when I was trying to figure out the timings, I couldn't find anything. So luckily, I know how to do it now, and there are definitely some mechanics to it, and I'm going to share that with you guys. And this will also be another way of also showing a really high blood run, because I am on one of the most insane accounts I've ever been on. Thank you to Nishon for letting me use it. He's the GOAT. And as you can see, we got A5 Carnelian. It literally doesn't matter because her ult is all that matters here. But it is kind of funny. We're going to be aiming for 140k blood or so, at the minimum 120. So we're going to get into it pretty quick, but this is the team. I'll show the gear at the end in case that matters, but for now, since it is only really highlighting Carnelian, her awakenings don't really matter. This is the gear she's using. For Guild Boss 2, you want to have at least plus 500, ideally plus 600 attack speed. You want to have it a ton. You want to build her with a little bit of HP here. I have her with 30k. And once again, close to 700 attack speed. And then you want her with a bit of rage regen. Ideally, maybe more than this, if possible. But we do have a max scarab, so therefore it doesn't really matter that much. She needs this to be max skilled. She needs it. It is a requirement for later game strategies using Carnelian. Early on, maybe it doesn't matter. But if you're running no Nazim, no stunners, and you want to use Carnelian, you have to have this max skilled. And I do highly recommend you max skill this for the 3 bounces. Very important. The rest of her skills really don't matter. And that's the build. So I'll go over the rest after. This is a team we will be using. You could take out Silas for like some sort of nightmare unit, like either Salazar or Volca, but it bugged out on this account and it saved last week's Apocalypse 1, so that's why it's kind of bugged out, but let's get into it. So let me just show you the placements that I will be using. The placements are a little odd, but they do make sense. So here I'm going to place down our DPS. We're going to have Arrogance right here. Arrogance has this max exclusive somehow on this account, so that's kind of crazy. We're going to put Pharisee like this facing up, and you might be saying, hey, there's a tile at the top that's not being used. How are you going to, get those people up there to survive? And the key is, we're not going to, because we're not placing anyone there. Here I'm just going to keep placing things down however I see fit. You know how it is. We're going to place her there. You can place her over here as well, but I don't think it really matters that much. And then we could place like this. We could then place Silas. Let's put Carnelian like this. And then let's place Alistair like this. And then let's place Torador here. And now, this might not be the most optimal way to do it. You can place someone in the corner as long as they have good HP, like Pharisee, and then as long as this person has good HP, you'll be fine. I'm not going to do that here. Sure, there's probably better placements, but it doesn't really matter. For the first few phases, we're not going to ult at all until it starts kind of ramping up, just because we want to maximize our blood here, and if you wait a little bit, you will get more blood output. On this axe phase, we're going to hope that Torador will stun pretty consistently. He's not A3, so therefore he's going to stun a lot less. But if he does stun, it's going to give us more Carnelian time. I'm not going to go over the timing now because it is not optimal to tell you guys now. So I will get into it on the next time around. Here we are going to click all of the alts. We're going to go with this. Torador alt. We're going to then hit the hammer. We're aiming for about 6k plus before he gets up, which is a ridiculous number, by the way. Like on another account I did that has A5, like pretty much everything, except it doesn't have Praetus or Yobar, I could only get like 5k max, sometimes even less, before, moving on to the next phase. So that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous damage. I cannot understate, or I could not overstate how much that is, because it is just that much. It's ridiculous. Here we're going to just keep on, seeing how things go. when we get hit with acidic venom, we're going to cleanse it, see how it goes, and then we're going to keep on pushing. You know how it is. You guys have played this before. And yeah, we're just going to keep pushing. And now I can get into the Carnelian ults, because now we're actually going to take enough damage where it literally will do something. Earlier, if I had showed you guys, it wouldn't have done anything at all whatsoever, and it would have mattered not at all. So here we are. What we're going to do is we're going to wait for this bar here before we even think about using her ult. We're going to wait for the bar. Pharisee, unfortunately, it does not have his orb over his head, which is another reason why you might want to put him in the corner. Instead, it's just I was having trouble having Alistair live. We're going to wait for the bar to fill up. Ideally, we want it to take as long as possible because we need more time, you know, to build up Carnelian and all, but luckily the first one doesn't really matter. Here, because I have them on the left side, the timing's a bit different on the right. You want to wait for the same general thing, which is when the saw goes out of the screen. Almost out of the screen, so not quite. You want to wait for that. And the same applies if you're placing them on the right, but I do recommend the left just because it makes it slightly easier. And yeah, so here we're going to wait until it's just about to leave. So right here around when the saw kind of gets to the bar, around when it's about to leave, usually I just eyeball it. You're going to see this and you're going to immediately Carnelian ult. And by the time it hits you, you should have Carnelian's animation gone. Like, it should have ended because Carnelian has a long-ass animation before she ults, and she should put it down on everyone. Pharisee might die here because he doesn't have Carnelian and orbs because I didn't put him in the ult range, which is her range. So, whoops. But here we're just going to click Carnelian ult right there. We're going to get hit pretty bad, and then Carnelian is going to put them back out. So, hypothetically, let's say that someone died and triggered the unyielding there. Carnelian would have instantly put the unyielding back, and then we would have been completely fine. Of course, we're not in the type of HP threshold where we're going to be struggling at all, so it didn't really show the full power. I will show it on the next time around, but that is how you do it. And then for this one, I will show you in a second. It doesn't do much damage right now, so it doesn't matter, but same general principle. There's two different ways to time it, though, for this phase, and it gets a lot harder. Like, a lot harder for this phase than it is on the saw one, because the saw one makes sense, right? It just makes sense, but on this one it doesn't. So I'm gonna have to show you guys next time around, because we're ending up doing too much damage. So definitely a good problem to have, but still problem when you're trying to record a video. I'll show you guys in a second. So here we're just gonna click all of our ults. We're going to wait a little bit, kind of click that, and then there we go. Click all of the ults. You know how it is. I clicked constants. Didn't work apparently, but that's fine. And then, yeah, let's just keep it going. On this phase, I'll also show the timings later. It's just you have to push very hard and very far in order for the timings to actually matter in the slightest. So you guys just gotta bear with me here. I'm just kind of walking you guys through it before I get to the point where it matters especially much. And yeah, so we're going to keep it going. Here, once again, to show you again, we're going to wait until it is about to leave the screen, trying to get as many stuns in as possible beforehand, but really doesn't matter. And then here, it's about to leave the screen, so I can Carnelian ult. We're going to get hit pretty bad here. Bonk. And then unyielding put out. I forgot to cleanse, but the unyielding got put out again, and we are just kind of chilling, keeping it going, and doing a lot of damage on the way. So let's just keep pushing, and we should end up getting a pretty good score. Now, the second phase, I will actually show you guys the timing now, because I think it is actually somewhat relevant now. And so right here on the Earth Shatter, you want to wait until it is to the point where the shield lights up. So the way the shield works is it's going to fall down, hit the ground, light up slightly, and then it's going to slide across the screen, and then you're going to get hit by boulders. Now there's two timings for this that are very specific. The one that you guys need to know the most is the one where when it hits the ground and it lights up briefly, you're going to immediately click Carnelian ult, and that is for when you get hit by the rocks and then you die. Then you're going to be able to refresh your unyielding. But that only works if you already have these little orbs around everyone's head. so then they won't actually be able to die before Carnelian puts out her unyielding. The issue is if you don't have the orbs on everyone beforehand, because you had a rocky state phase 1 or you had a rocky just kind of performance earlier, then you're going to have to learn a different timing, which I don't fully know because I've never really had to use it yet. But I assume we would have clicked it right now or so, around when he's about to put it down. I assume you would click Carnelian Alt, and then as soon as you get hit by the AoE, she will put it out, and then you'll not die from the rocks. I think that's how it'll work. But that's for like very later on. So for now, we're going to wait until the kind of light thing right here. As you can see, light just got hit. Sorry, it's very fast. It's very hard to show. And then we would have clicked Carnelian all, and after the rocks, it would have worked. I'll show you guys a little bit of a better example in a second when he does it next. And it should be just fine. Now we're going to keep it going right here. As you can see, I just want to kind of keep the show on the road so that when I show you guys the final score, it makes sense. Here we're going to wait again because after Aegis mode, he always earth shatters. We're going to trigger this. Did I frickin'... I clicked it on accident. I don't want to talk about it. It's 10 a.m. and I haven't gone to sleep yet, so... I wanted to get this video done, but like I wasn't able to all day, so you know I had to postpone it. I'll show you guys again on the next video round. I don't want to talk about it. Now we're at where the poisons get kind of tough. The poisons are very easy to pay attention to. Essentially what you want to do is the first time around when you get hit with 2 stacks of poison, or 2 sets of the poison stacks, you're going to use Element Alt. And then you are going to start dying later on this phase when you get hit with this poison. And you essentially just want to look for when everyone kind of triggers their unyielding or when they're all about to kind of die. And then you want to just trigger Carnelian Alt to keep them alive. Like right now, we haven't taken enough damage, but we're close. So if we take a little bit more damage, then I would have triggered it. But I'll show you guys once again a little later, because I cannot show you guys right now. Now let's get another recap of the first phase before I show you guys the second phase again. Because this stage is freaking hell to time. So that's fun. Okay. Now what we're going to do here is we are going to wait once again, like I've been saying the whole time. We're going to wait a little bit for this to fill up. We're going to wait until it's about to leave the screen, and then we're going to click Carnelian Alt. We're going to get hit. As you can see, we would have had our unyielding loss, but luckily because we dealt with it accordingly, we are completely fine. We're going to keep it going right here. The goal is that we stun once or twice just so that we are able to actually get the next Carnelian Alt out on time. If you can't, just do your best here. We're going to try, but like, that's kind of an issue with stun RNG more than anything. So it's not the biggest deal if you can't deal with it. So just keep it pushing if you can. Now we're gonna get hit by this one because we won't have Carnelian Alt, but luckily this one does like no damage at all. And then we are now able to click Carnelian Alt properly, and I will actually get to show you guys when we get hit by the actual attack, which I wasn't able to show you guys before. Here, Aegis mode is going to happen. He is going to hit us pretty hard after. Not too hard because we don't have that many stacks of, damage boosting on him. He's going to bring it up. He's going to slam it on the ground. It's going to light up. As soon as you see that light up, you want to click Carnelian Alt. Light up right there. Carnelian Alt right there. Hit. Rocks. Instant. Unyielding. And that's how it goes. That's a perfect timing right there. That's kind of how you go with it. If we don't kill the boss in time for when it does the next attack, I will show you guys the timings for beforehand. I don't know if it's 100% reliable, but it is what I have. So kind of take notes on this. Here we're going to wait until we see the shield in the top left, and it should work. Maybe even like right now as soon as it leaves. Now I'm going to click it because I knew that it was going to come in pretty soon. We get hit. Unyielding goes out before the rocks, and then we do it. I think you do it right as it leaves the screen. If you want to do it earlier, I think that is probably the better way to do it. But I think either way works. As long as you get her unyielding out before you get hit by rocks, it really does not matter that much. So just keep that in mind. We're already at 85k, which is crazy. We're going to keep it pushing at as much as we can to see what we can do for the rest. Here we're going to cleanse this, and then we're going to have to use Carnelian alt. Luckily, this phase is very, very easy to refresh your Carnelian alt, which is great. Acidic Venom, we will have to pause here, kind of take a breather. Everyone is doing a ton of work while we are getting pulverized right now. Generally around that attack, you can click Carnelian alt, but I do like to generally wait a bit to see what happens. Of course, Element A3 is doing all the work, so it's hard to show. But essentially, when you see these people going low and their HP gets depleted, you want to click Carnelian alt. That's kind of how it goes. Like right here, everyone started to die a little bit, so I Carnelian alted and it worked. So that's kind of just all you got to do. Sorry for the not the most accurate representations here. It is very hard to show with an account of this caliber because we end up killing everything or we end up dealing with everything too well, and then it's just impossible to show because like I can't show if I'm doing too well. So here, Death Saw again, like I've been saying, and then we're gonna just kind of chill, see what happens. It's about to leave the screen in a second right here. We are then going to click Carnelian alt. We're going to get hit. We're going to put it out. Silas did not have his orbs beforehand, which really sucks, but that is how it goes. Silas is not the main DPS. That is Praetus and Arrogance, so it doesn't really matter that much. Here we're going to hope that we can stun him twice. Yeah, we did. Okay, good. And now we should be able to kind of survive this right here because we can then alt with Carnelian, and as you can see, all is well. We refreshed all of it except for Lust's. Lust hopefully will be able to regain it though in a short period of time, which he is, which is perfect. So we're just going to keep it going, see what happens. We got 2 stuns out already, so we should mostly be fine. 3 stuns out actually. And now we just got to click Carnelian alt. Boom, hit, instant refill. And there we go. That's how you do it. I'm going to keep going. I figure I'll just commentate the rest of this because I don't want to do like a sped up montage, but we're already at like 110k. I am very, very curious on how long we can go. This is definitely a very, very hard phase. Hopefully we can keep it up. We instantly got domed on Lust. Lust just lost all of her HP and essentially died, but not technically died. Hopefully Silas can also get his orbs up because currently he doesn't have them and currently he will die. So I'm really, really hoping that we can deal with that effectively. Obviously some timings could be improved, but at the end of the day, we're doing fine. I have no complaints at all. So let's just keep it going. 112k. I'll ask Nation if he wants me to keep this after because he won't have to do the work. But we're doing great. We're doing great. It's going very, very well. And I'm not threatened by this phase. I think we could even beat the next version of this phase. Here I got a Carnelian alt because I forgot. Silas doesn't have it because I forgot. And that is on me. Here, Silas might die and we might just lose just because I forgot about that. That is what happens, is you will just straight up lose the fight because you forgot to trigger one single alt. It really, really sucks and it's very, very annoying. But that is just how it goes. That's how these very hard stages are always going to go. That's just how it is. I mean, there's nothing you really do about it at the end of the day. Here we're just going to keep triggering the alts. We are guaranteed 120k, which is amazing. I'll go for a new record on this account if possible. We're going to hit by the Acidic Venom, taking so much poison. But luckily, because Carnelian is so absolutely overpowered, we should hopefully be okay. I won't guarantee that we are okay, but I will definitely say that I hope we will be. So let's see what happens. Here, everyone's kind of dropping like crazy. I will wait a tiny bit for this. We're going to take a ton of damage here. I will be Carnelian alting just in case. But because Eloin is A3, we're definitely not suffering as hard as we could be. Here, I'm just going to trigger all the alts. And we're doing great, honestly. I don't have anything to say beyond that. Because, like, we're almost at 130k. Which is a crazy, crazy milestone. Like, that's absurd level milestone. Here we got a Carnelian alt just to kind of refresh everyone so that we don't friggin' lose. Here I got an Eloin alt to keep everyone afloat because they're basically dead at this point. The next time that comes around, it will become very, very difficult. So hopefully it's not an issue. But I'm more worried about this phase personally because this is the one that causes the most issues because we just don't have that much Carnelian alt uptime. Ideally, you would if you were running it super well with maybe you could bring a stunner as well, but chances are no one will have this specific team. So, I mean, you could run like Azor, you could run anything. It's about to leave. We can click it. Boom. Carnelian died because she did not have unyielding on, which really, really sucks. We might just lose here because Carnelian is our glue that is holding the team together. And there's nothing really wrong with that. It happens. I mean, there's not much we could do about it, but hopefully we can get her up eventually and everyone else up eventually, but chances are we have lost. But this just goes to show that Carnelian is the most important. I think if I manage to fix this kind of flaw, I could probably get about 150k, maybe 160k with his account, because his account is ridiculous. But once again, doesn't really matter that much. Hell nah. So yeah, that is the video. I guess I'll do the outro now before... Oh wait, I gotta show the gear, never mind. But I will show the outro eventually. And there we go. Dead. I'm just gonna sell him. There we go. 140k. The damage numbers are gonna be crazy. Do not feel upset if you cannot get these numbers. This is just to go and show a Carnelian being insane for this fight, and those are the timings. So at the saw, when it barely is about to leave the screen, you want to click the alt, and then you should be ready. When the second phase is happening, when the shield either barely appears on the screen or barely disappears from the screen, that means you want to click your alt if you will die to the rocks. If you're not going to die to the rocks because you already have unyielding on everyone, you want to wait for the shield to barely light up once. And on the third phase, just eyeball when you're either getting hit by that normal attack or eyeball when your heroes are about to die from the poison. Just refresh the unyielding. Essentially, you want to refresh, you don't want to add, generally. So that's something to keep in mind. Hopefully this helps a little bit. I know it's not the most attainable team, but it is an attainable hero, which is Carnelian. And you guys got this. So good luck with your future endeavors. Hopefully this helps a little bit. Sadie timing is pretty similar, although you do have a little bit more flexibility, but she does suck more because she only works with her ult. She doesn't work with her basic attacks. That's why Carnelian is far better. I realized right after recording the outro that I forgot to show the gear, just because if you guys want to see what elite level gear looks like, here it is. We have about 24k on Freitas with 250% crit damage, 400 attack speed. The pieces, as you can see, are kind of crazy. Freitas has very high natural HP, so you don't really have to build them with that much HP in mind. I have 2 HP pieces there. And then max tier of Twilight, we have Constance. Constance is essentially running Dolores gear, which is attack with attack and also HP. As you can see, a little bit of rage regen as well. Once again, gear is elite. We have a max keen wisdom. Alistair is running mostly HP bonus because he was having trouble living. And tier of Twilight right there. Next we got Pharisee. Pharisee is built with a lot of HP with a little bit of attack for the inspiration, but mostly HP to live because he's not in Carnelian range, and then he also has Euphoric Orb. Then we have Carnelian. Carnelian I showed earlier, 700 attack speed. We have some HP and also Rage Regen down there with Golden Scarab. Next we have Torador. Torador you do want with higher attack speed, but I wanted to build him with Morale for more damage, and then Astral Obelisk for more rage. Next we got Arrogance. Arrogance gear is cracked the hell out. We have about 20k attack, 360% crit damage, pretty insane there. Then we have Eye of Mockery max, which is crazy. And then also, Lust has Captivation and Burning Desire also maxed, even though it barely increases at all. And it's just really funny. She has almost 20k attack and almost 300% crit damage. Next we have Eloin. Eloin is built with a decent amount of HP, 33k. I would recommend a bit more, but that is what we have. Decent stats there. High rage regen for the poison cleansing. Silas then has Infernal Roar. I would build him with Soulbound Arcana if we had more HP gear, but we don't. And 26k HP. And also his exclusive. I think Spirit Siphon's better, but that's what we got. So yeah, that is the gear. It is crazy. It is not attainable. I understand. But this is just to show off 2 things in one video because I like doing that. It's fun. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe for more. I just really wanted to make this video, and it is currently about way too late, and I should be asleep. So I'll be getting this out and then passing the hell out. Yeah, enjoy. Destined signing out.